Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, and welcome to an extra interview of Final Cut. And today I'm joined by a man who I'm pretty sure if you cloned him could do pretty much everything on the movie set. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you Miro.
Hello, hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. So, the
Yeah.
inevitable question, how did you get started out in acting?
Uh, yes, I've always wanted to be an actor. So it's something that I've always wanted to get into. And I started doing plays in high school, like a lot of people. And then my last year of high school, I got an agent and I started auditioning for TV and film. And then after that, I did a couple of gigs uh, on TV, on Canadian TV shows, actually. And then I auditioned to go to Circle in the Square Theater School. And then I moved down to New York and I trained professionally over there. And then I came back and then that's it.
And life just went from
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Obviously, everyone has their influences growing up. I've said repeatedly that Chris Nolan is an influence when it comes to knowing a good
Sure.
movie or two. Hans Zimmer's soundtracks are legendary. Tom Hardy's acting is about, let's say, well, same about as legendary as you can get. So, who are
Absolutely.
your influences in varying degrees?
I would say probably one of my first influences was Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
I grew up, I think probably, I don't know how old you are, but I grew up watching Tom Hanks and he's just so versatile. He can do it all. And that's the kind of actor I wanted to be. And he's just so likable and such a good person. So that's definitely, that was a huge influence for me. Um, and then some other things that popped up. I remember watching My Own Private Idaho.
hmm
That was a really powerful movie for me. I remember watching American Beauty when I was younger, and that was a really, I was still in high school. And that's kind of when I really wanted to become a serious actor.
yeah.
I remember being in high school and doing a lot of comedy. And those are the kind of movies that really made me want to dig into it and become a serious actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Uh,
also Al Pacino, Dog Day Afternoon. That was a huge influence on me.
oh yeah, who
Yeah.
cannot have Al Pacino in their
No.
influences?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you actually studied at the prestigious Circle in the Square Theatre School on Broadway, which, to be fair, is not a bad place to learn your acting craft.
No,
So,
it's not.
so what
Yeah.
made you choose a school on Broadway?
So the reason for that is because, oddly enough, I had gone to see a play here in Vancouver, and I remember looking at the program and I saw that the lead guy had gone to Circle in the Square, and then I looked up Circle in the Square and I saw that Benicio del Toro had gone there, and then Philip Seymour Hoffman, and that was the year that Capote had just come out,
Hmm.
and I just seen Capote, and I was just and so I was in love with Philip Seymour Hoffman. I thought he was incredible, um, and I didn't have a lot of money back then, so I remember that looking at the prices of schools in New York, which was crazy, and I was like, I have no idea how I would ever pay for that. But I saw there was a summer program happening that was a
Yeah.
bit more affordable. So I booked an audition. I had to take a bus down to Seattle, and I stayed overnight. And then the next day I had an audition for the summer program, which I got into. And then once I got into that, my dad was kind of like, if you want to do the full time, if you're able to get him to consider you for that, maybe I'd be able to help you out a little bit. And so I called him back and I said, is there any way that I can get in for the full time? And they waited a couple of days and then got back to me and gave me a spot. So that's kind of why I went. Yeah.
Yeah. And your career has definitely took off. You've been in
Yeah.
Fringe, Supernatural, The Flash, and The Drive, to name but a few TV shows.
Yeah.
What is it about certain TV shows that makes you want to star in them?
Look, honestly, when you're an actor, you just audition for everything. And whoever gives you a job at the
Yeah.
beginning, you're just, let's do it. But oddly enough, with Fringe, it was something interesting because when I lived in New York, I was ushering at an off-Broadway theater, and I was ushering an event that was the first episode of Fringe with the
Yeah.
whole cast and crew and everything, and I was just letting people in. I remember watching the first episode, and I was like, "This is a really cool show." And when I came back to Vancouver, the show had moved and was actually shooting in Vancouver. So when I got on a chance to audition for it, it felt a little bit like fate, because I was
Mm.
there for the premiere of the show.
Yeah.
And so then to be on set with all those guys was really cool.
I bet you thought you were being stalked at one point.
What's that?
Because literally they shot the premiere episode in New York, and then it
That's
went to
right.
Vancouver. When you went to Vancouver, I bet you were
Yeah,
thinking, why are they
yeah,
stalking me?
it was stalking me, which is good. It's nice to have a TV show stalking you.
Yeah. Your movie collection is actually quite nice, but
Mhm.
you've been in Death Note, which is directed by Adam Wingard, who has done two of my
Mhm.
favorite movies, which is
Oh,
a guest starring Dan Stevens.
yeah,
You're next with Shawnee Vision, I believe her name was, and he's literally just finished Godzilla versus Kong, which I didn't know he was directing.
right, right.
So, what is Death Note actually like? Because I've never watched it.
Yeah, so it's based on a Japanese manga series, and it's I guess it's kind of mystery, crime, drama. There's a lot of gore. The scenes that I shot were quite gory in kind of a fun way, though, if that makes sense, in kind
Yeah,
of a exaggerated way. And so that was kind of the tone. I was playing one of the bad guys, and our scene was, we had a 14-day shoot of just like the craziest stuff happening,
yeah,
which was really fun. A lot of fake blood. I remember getting sprayed with just like fake blood and having to have this freak out about that. And so, yeah, so that's kind of the vibe. Adam was great. And I remember meeting Adam in the callback. And right off the bat, I got along with him so well. He was really one of those directors that wants to work with you,
yeah,
and so he just gives you, you do the scene and then he builds on it and he gives you suggestions and you give suggestions and he really works with you. And I loved him. I mean, he was just so easy, so chill to work with, but also you could see that he had a vision, and he knows how to direct actors.
yeah.
So I'm glad you like his work because I think he's just such a wonderful director to work with.
Are you kidding? The Guest is probably the first horror movie where I've literally been stunned by the plot twist, and Your
Yeah,
Next actually
yeah,
was just completely and utterly brutal in its gore. Not to
yeah.
mention, someone played croquet with someone's head. How can you not laugh at that? I must
Yeah,
admit, I was actually a bit shocked he was doing Godzilla versus Kong. So I suppose it's only fair that we talk about that a little bit more. Do you think
sure.
it will be a good movie, judging by what you've seen?
Look, I have faith in Adam. I think he'll do a good job if he's directing it. I'm not gonna lie, until you told me, I had no idea that he was directing that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I
I was
didn't even know.
absolutely
So
stunned.
that's news to me.
Mm.
I don't know. It'll definitely be fun. You
Yep,
know what I
I
mean?
actually am quite looking forward to it more than any other
Yeah,
crossover, like even more than Batman v Superman. But this actually does
right.
look like it will be worth watching.
I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a fun movie. Um, yeah, because he knows how to have fun. Adam
Yeah,
knows how to create fun. So I think that's what it's gonna be. It's definitely gonna be an event. Hopefully by then movie theaters will be open and
we hope.
we'll be able to watch it on the big screen because it's definitely one of those movies that I think it's gonna have to be seen on the big
Yeah, I
screen.
really hope so.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll move on from a HBO Max movie to a Netflix movie, and you starred in To All the Boys, P.S. I Love You. I
yeah,
Still Love You, sorry. What is
yeah.
it like filming a Netflix movie?
You know, it's I mean, super professional. Um, Pretty quick, but at the same time, they really take their time
Hmm.
with every scene. I think on that movie, obviously the first one did really well. And so the budget for it was, that a good budget. So they could really afford to create, to do the scene the way that they wanted it.
Yeah,
And I'm blanking out now on the director that directed me. What's it? Oh my God, Michael.
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But he was actually the cinematographer for the hunting of the first hunting of Hill House,
Oh yeah,
which I don't know. Did you see it?
I haven't seen it, but I know of
Okay.
its reputation.
So there was one episode which really blew my mind. It was pretty much it felt like a one shot, and
Yeah,
the whole episode was one shot. And the way he created tension on that, and it was really brilliant. And he was a cinematographer for that. And And so I got to shoot with him, and he was kind of for our scene. He was doing that same thing, and he was trying to recreate that scene from Goodfellas,
Hmm.
where Ray Liotta walks into the restaurant and then just goes around, and the camera just follows him.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, that's not how it ended up being in the movie. But because that was the shot, it was really, I mean, it was a bit stressful because everybody had to be on it. Like
yeah,
you didn't want to be the one who messed up that shot because it was just going like it was so long, and it was almost like a dance that way that it was choreographed. Like it really felt like a dance, and everybody like you knew when you had to start, where you had to move, how you had to do it. So I gotta say it was a bit stressful, and then it was a bit disappointing when that actual shot didn't make it into the. I guess they had to cut it. You
yeah,
know that happens a lot in features. That's something that you'll notice in features. A lot gets cut.
yeah,
You know, it was kind of the same thing in Death Note. We did so much stuff that just got cut, and it's a bit unfortunate
yeah.
because you know you did all that work and you're so proud of it, and then you're watching, and you don't know until you watch the movie, and then you
Mhm.
watch the movie and you're like, ah, damn it. Um, but yeah, that would have been a cool shot. So it was fun, man. They were really, again, on this Netflix movie, everybody was lovely. Noah and Lana were really lovely. I mean, they were so down to earth and just so cool to talk to and work with, and no ego whatsoever. They were just super chill. So it was great, man. It was a really good experience.
It's nice to hear about a chilled
Yeah.
environment. You don't usually get that nowadays.
Oh man, like so humble. I have to say I've been pretty lucky. I think a lot of people I worked with have been pretty down to earth actually. But yeah, the two of them, like, you know, Noah's obviously very charismatic, and he kind of just you know, he like owns the room, and
Yeah.
Lana's a bit more of the a bit more reserved, but just the sweetest, just so lovely. You know,
Mm.
you never know that they were, I mean, they're movie stars now,
Yeah.
but they certainly act just like, you know, normal people who are just super chill and kind.
Mm.
So that's nice, yeah.
Now you actually have your own comedy series out. It's called How to Make It in Hollywood in brackets when you are foreign AF. Now, what
Yeah.
exactly is this about?
Yeah. So, you know, it started off as a fluke. It started off out of, I'm pretty creative. I like to write, you know, and so I was writing a lot, but my main thing was I would write scripts and features and all that stuff. And it was the production side that I never got it done. And this one, I just kind of, I did it with nothing. And it's about it's all seen through auditions, and
Yeah.
it's about this guy who's foreign who moves to Hollywood to become a movie star. And obviously, he's got this naive idea of how it's going to be and how easy it's going to be. But he just faces a lot of, and the main thing is that he actually faces a lot of discrimination because he's from a different country, and that's
Yeah.
the basis of it. But it's all done through comedy, you know, and a lot of it is based on personal experiences, you know. I was born in Italy, and I'm part Moroccan as well, and you know, and sometimes I've faced some of the discrimination myself,
Yeah.
and so I put it into comedy, and I made it into kind of like this comedy YouTube thing that I thought nobody would watch, and then it kind of picked up steam, and it got a lot of press, and so all of a sudden people were watching it, and it was, yeah, man. And it was just, and then I kind of built on it, and it
Yeah.
started off just with me, and then I got other actors to come in and play with me, and it, man, it's such a joy to be able to create your own stuff.
Yeah. But as far as that series goes, you literally did everything. You were a director, writer, producer,
Yeah.
editor, and you're a cinematographer. Now, I have asked many people this many times, but there's
Yeah.
sometimes answers can differ. So, what is it like doing everything for an entire series?
I mean, look, I think the reason I was able to do it was because I kept it pretty simple. Everything is very simple. But at the end of the day, I also didn't have a choice because I decided to do this on my own with pretty much no budget. So if I wanted to do it, I had to do it all. Um, it's good, man. Again, it's a bit stressful, and I had to learn. I mean, I had to Google how to do stuff. You know what I mean? Like I was very ambitious, and I'm like, well, I'm going to do it. So I would spend time just understand, even editing, you know, I'd never really edited before. And I was Googling like how to edit, you know what I mean? Which then was super, kind of cool because we got nominated for an award in LA, at the Indie Series Award, and the award was for best editing,
Yeah.
which was so surprising to me because I'm like, I literally had to learn how to do it for this. So it's tough, man. It's tough, but you also have all the control, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is nice to actually be able to have your vision
Yeah,
the way you want it, rather than
like
somebody come in and say, "No,
yeah,
we don't want it that way. We want it a different way. We don't think your way will work."
mm-hmm.
But your way does work.
100%. Yeah, 100%. It's my control, and that was kind of cool. Yeah.
Now, I was looking through IMDb, which is the first thing I do, and apparently you sang in that series as well.
Oh God. To be fair, my singing was really bad on purpose. Who's actually doing a beautiful job. I wrote a song. So I wrote a song which was a parody song, of Imagine. And I wrote it, and then I sent it off to Marley Collins, who's an amazing singer. She's also an actor, and she's an incredible singer. And I got her with her producer, to turn it into an actual song based on my lyrics. And so she's actually, her version of the song is stunning and it's beautiful. The way that I'm singing is no bueno. I mean, it's not good. I am
You were
not a
telling
good
me that you
singer.
have passion and soul in you.
I do. And I mean, I did, when I went to Circle, we had to do musical theater. So I did sing
Yeah,
a lot. And I definitely, I give it all. Um, and that's something that in my next life, I want to have a good voice.
mm,
That's something that I'm like, because I would love to do musical theater. I would love to sing, but it's just nobody in my family can. So, yeah.
right. No one in my family can either. So I'm
Right.
with you on
Yeah.
that.
I really think it's genetic, man. Like some people, their whole family is like always together singing, and mine, nope, nobody. So,
Is your series still going on YouTube or?
the last episode was during the pandemic, lockdown, the first lockdown, and I haven't done it since. I got kind of busy, and that's the only thing. I got really busy, and I was shooting a bunch of stuff, and I was teaching, and so I got a bit busy, and it's kind of on hold, but I definitely want to bring it back.
It is coming
The
back.
last thing I did on it, actually, right before the pandemic hit, I went down to LA, and we were actually shooting some real life footage, kind of like Borat style, where I was pretending to be the character, and we interact with real people.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of that footage that I need to edit and get out. So that's going to be the next thing.
Did you at any point go, that nice?
I didn't. I did my own version. I did
Oh,
my own version, but it was really funny, man. People bought it and they thought I was crazy, and it was quite entertaining.
now you have been a busy little bee because you've just finished
Yeah.
shooting a movie called Dangerous, which has you, Mel Gibson, one of the best Bond girls ever to have existed, Famke Janssen, Kevin Durant, who was the Blob in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Oh, I won't say I don't like this man, but my fiance has a serious crush on him, Scott Eastwood, and Tyrese, who everyone loves.
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously, it's quite a big cast list. So, is there
Abs
any details that you can say?
you know, uh, I don't have any specific details, but I gotta say, and that's something else that surprised. I know that Scott has a lot of fans. He's a very good-looking man, and something I have to say is that standing on set next to him makes you feel very self-conscious because he's one of those people that is just like genetically perfect. Uh, but again, I have to say, and I don't know if because the way that Clint brought him up or whatever, but again, the nicest guy, so humble, you would never tell that he's a movie star. I mean,
Yeah,
he is just, and he's actually quite like he's not boisterous in any kind of way. He's super down to earth and chill, and again, no ego whatsoever. Just like a super chill dude, you know.
he's probably got that from his dad.
And I think he has. And I think he has. I mean, I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan. Um, and so to see how, he just acts and also super hardworking. He is so committed to his craft. I mean, you could see that he was just he was passionate about what he was doing. He was passionate about the work and the craft, and and he has a lot of fight scenes in that movie, and just how he, just the way rehearsing and blocking those fight scenes, and like he's really like he is somebody that he puts the work in. He doesn't phone it in. He puts the work in, and it was a pleasure to watch somebody of that status truly just embrace the craft. That was really cool. Tyrese is very funny, he's a very funny guy. He always has a joke. And he definitely, he's got a huge personality, and he's very entertaining. And I feel like he was the one who was entertaining everybody on set. Kevin is amazing. Kevin's the one that I got to work with the most, and also randomly, just we were all staying in one hotel, and I just kept running into Kevin, and so I really got to know him really well. I mean, well enough, and super chill. Like he's great. And again, somebody else. And I know it's gonna sound like the theme of my interview that everybody's great, but man, Kevin was just such a cool guy and gave me so much advice, in my own career, and you know, and I got along with him really well. He's super chill. But yeah, but I would say everybody was. I think it's gonna be cool, man. It was one of the best. It was one of the best sets I've been on for sure.
So I'm curious as to this, and my fiance is definitely curious because she is a Scottish fan. Do we have a release date for it?
I have not. I don't know. They have not told me. So I am in the dark like you are. I know they're in post, so they're working post production right now. So we're gonna find out. I don't think we've done ADR yet.
Yeah,
So I don't know. That's gonna be, and again, I think these days it's a bit confusing because of the pandemic as well.
yeah.
I think they're hoping for a theatrical release. So again, we have to see how that goes. Everything is up in the air, man. I mean, even movies that were supposed to come out last year and are still, they're just holding off until they can. So I think because of that, I don't know. I haven't
You
heard
see,
anything,
that's a
but
half
it's
of this year. Do you think that probably be a fair estimate?
maybe. Again, I don't, I don't know, man. Again,
We'll have a guess at
they don't, it's funny. They don't, I think the actors are the last people to know. I think when they know, then they'll let us know. But it would be cool if it has a fall release or something.
yeah,
It is kind of, I think the vibe of the movie would be very cool, like fall or winter, just because it is in the cold and it's got that atmosphere. So I think if it comes out in the fall or
right.
winter of
Not to
next
mention
year,
everybody wants to watch something when it's ice cold anyway.
yeah,
People
exactly. But
people
it's
would
still,
think the last 2 days because it's done nothing but snow for the last 2 days.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here too. I mean, it's in Vancouver, it doesn't snow as much, but we did get a bit of snow yesterday. So
Just briefly, is there any? Have you got anything lined up that you can talk about?
yeah, well, I just did last week. I just shot a Hallmark movie. Uh, funny enough, so I just did that, which was a romantic comedy, and I played a pretty fun character on that. And then I just had a meeting with director and producer about a horror movie
Oh,
yeah, which I haven't done horror, and I was super stoked because I've always wanted to. Now it's not finalized. We're still negotiating and all that stuff, so it's not 100%. So I don't want to say what it is just because but we just met last week, and I actually read the script yesterday or 2 days ago on Sunday. I got it Sunday night. So I read it, and it's super fun. I mean, are you a fan of horror?
I'm very much a fan of horror.
Yeah. So this, I think, I think this would be a really fun one. I read the script, and it's just a lot of gore, kind of a slasher, kind of crazy. Again, I can't say too much. I don't want to give anything away, but from what I read, it's gonna be fun, and I think we're aiming to shoot either at the end of the month or next month. So probably March, I would think. Yeah.
Now I'm just gonna ask a quick question before we go on social. Me and one of my co-hosts, we are both fans of the Evil Dead franchise. He thinks Sam Raimi's original version is king. I am on the belief that Fede Alvarez's version from about 10 years ago is way better than the original. So first thing, have you seen both of them? And B, who are you siding with?
Wait. Tell me. I kind of missed that. Which ones?
Right. There's two Evil Deads. There's
Oh,
Sam Raimi's original 1981, I think it is. And there's Fede Alvarez's one that was redone about 9, 10 years ago. Now, I think that Fede Alvarez's version is way better than Sam Raimi's in just so many ways. My co-host Fraser, on the other hand, he still claims
mhm.
that if you can't have an Evil Dead movie without Bruce Campbell in it.
Gotcha. You're gonna hate
So,
me. I have not seen either. I have no idea.
right, keep your plans
I
free for Halloween, sir, because
I'm gonna,
I am going to
and
ask you
I've got a
treat your
friend of
Halloween
mine who,
special.
yeah, I got a good friend of mine who loves this stuff. He would be very upset that to find out that I haven't seen them, but that is something that I
Yeah,
need to.
just make sure he doesn't watch this because he will crucify you.
Exactly.
All right, then. I was looking through your Instagram, which is something I've started doing this year, and can I be brutally honest? There's a lot of you
Sure.
shirtless.
Yeah.
There is quite a lot. So if there's any ladies out there who want to see a guy with a buff bod, go and find his Instagram. Honestly, I must admit, there is a lot of you on holiday, and I must admit those scenes that you're in is quite breathtaking. Kind of makes me a bit jealous as well because it does. Everywhere you've been, just look like you literally want to go there now. But the best bit I found was at the top when you first click on your Instagram page, where it says, and I quote, on a quest to find a t-shirt. So I admire the fact that you're wearing a t-shirt today. So thank you.
I I put one on. Yeah, I try to be professional sometimes. That's funny. Yeah, and the shirtless thing kind of it became a running joke to be honest on my Instagram because so many of my friends give me so much shit for that, and so now I just kind of enjoy it, and I enjoy why not? And as for the views, I mean, it's funny you say looks like I'm on holiday. This is the beautiful thing about being in Vancouver is I'm not. I mean, that's just on my day off. Those mountains are a 20-minute drive from where I live. And so, like yesterday, I was working, but in the morning, I went up to the mountains, went snowshoeing. I was back by 2 p.m. and then I had some work to do. So that is the beauty of this city. I mean, and it's funny you say holiday because I said that too. Every time I go up, even though I've seen him so many times, I'm always,
Mm,
and I said, wow, it really feels like we're on vacation, but
yeah,
we're not. Like this is just, you can go and do that over the days. So you should visit Vancouver
I
if you
really
love the
want to.
views. It
I
is
must
absolutely
admit, a
stunning.
lot of people I've interviewed have recently been from Vancouver, and they've all been
Right.
saying how much of a great city it is. And I'm like, I really wish I wasn't in lockdown because I would go at the first possible chance.
Yeah, it's great. The only thing is the rain. It rains a lot. So it's like being bipolar in Vancouver because you go from when it's sunny and you're on the mountains and you're like, I love this city, to
Yeah.
when it's been raining for 6 months and you're just like, I need to get out, you know?
Mate, I wouldn't worry about it. In England, we never know what it's going to do every day.
I think it's the same. Yeah, I think it's kind of the same vibe with the rain.
Yeah,
But if it's yeah, and we have a lot of there's so much stuff shooting, so we get a lot of LA actors coming up here. So I'm sure you've talked to people that have shot in
pretty
Vancouver.
much, yeah. Just
Yeah.
briefly, if anybody wants to see you flex your pecs on social media, how would they go about it?
So it's my Instagram is at the Al Miro, and Al Miro is ALMIRO. So at the Al Miro, you can follow me and I'll give you the goods.
1 minute, let me find you on Instagram. Have you got a Twitter page as well?
I do, yeah. I have my studio page because I also I have an acting studio, which is out Miro Studios, if anybody wants to take classes. And then I've got the Foreign AF page. But the one that I'm mostly on is at the
I've
Miro.
got you. I've got you. Oh, on a quest to find a shirt.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually not That's actually not a bad view.
And that was yesterday.
That is absolutely beautiful.
That was yesterday before work. I mean, that was just in the morning. I
Wow.
know, it's crazy, man. It's yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
Well, say it looks it. I really need to go there.